I'm calling this meeting of the Silver City Town Council to order. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. I'd like to welcome Captain James Cruson of the Silver City Police Department and the press. Thanks for being here tonight. The next item on the agenda is changes to the agenda. Does anyone want to make any changes? No changes. We have one proclamation. Since October 6 through 12, 2019 is Fire Prevention Week, the town would like to recognize this with a proclamation. Receiving the proclamation will be Mr. Kyle Marshall, Deputy Chief of Fire Prevention, and accompanying him will be Chief Lambert of the Silver City Fire Department.
Thank you, Mayor.
Whereas the town of Silver City is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Silver City, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. Residential fires killed 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Prevention Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. The majority of U.S. fire deaths, 4 out of 5, occur at home each year. And whereas, when the smoke alarm sounds, Silver City residents may have less than 2 minutes to escape to safety, and Silver City residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas, Silver City residents should make a home escape plan, draw a map of each level of the home, showing all doors and windows, and should practice the home fire escape plan with everyone in the household, including visitors, at least twice a year. And Silver City residents should teach children to escape on their own in case adults cannot help them. And residents should get out and stay out, never going back inside the home for people, pets, or things. And whereas Silver City residents are responsive to public education measures and can take action to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And the 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, "Not Every Hero Wears a Cape. Plan and practice your escape," effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Therefore, I, Ken Ladner, Mayor of the town of Silver City, do hereby proclaim October 6 through 12, 2019 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the town, and I urge all the people of Silver City to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency. Respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Silver City Fire Department during Fire Prevention Week 2019. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. 19. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mayor, Town Council. So our department is proud to serve the town of Silver City. One of the most susceptible age groups to fire is actually going to be our childhood, our school-age children. So what we do every year is we invite them to our station where we do tours, and then we teach them about fire safety, how to prevent fires, and what to do in case a fire happens within their home. This year, we're also going to be holding an event on Saturday, October 12th, so put that in your calendar. It's going to be at the Walmart parking lot, where we're going to team up with Del Taco and other departments from around Grant County to do a little fire prevention celebration. Del Taco is going to be giving away free kids meals, along with other goodies for the kids, and it's going to be from 10 to 1, so we invite you to come and hang out with all of us. We would really like to encourage everyone within the community to do their part in reducing fires. And again, we hope to see everybody either at our station or at Walmart on October 12th. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Marshall or comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is council comments. Councilor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. One quick comment. We are going to do, again, La Carnitas Música y Más Fiesta for the same weekend. We talked about it as a committee, and we decided we'll go ahead and do it. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Amon Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a couple of brief acknowledgments. First, the Gila River Festival, which I attended part of, was really magnificent this year. And I had a lot of positive comments about it being held in Golf Park rather than on a downtown street. I want to acknowledge that it is now officially autumn. Yesterday was the autumn equinox. And before this council meets again, another festival, actually a number of festivals and conferences will happen, one of which will be the Southwest Festival of the Written Word. And I encourage people to look at the schedule of events that are usually posted in the daily press and other publications and attend our community activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bedeston.
Thank you, Mayor. About a week and a half ago, I was told by someone who had actually called the town's message phone for me that it wasn't, I never received the message. So we found out that it wasn't working, and I want to thank Ann and Anita and everyone else who got it as of this morning. It is working. So I want to apologize to anyone who left messages. I had no idea it wasn't working. And so it appears that I have a number of messages to listen to, but unfortunately couldn't do that today since I was on my way back from Albuquerque from a museum conference. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Town of Silver City Council and the staff for supporting me all these years as I kind of go up the ladder on the Municipal League Board of Directors. Next Wednesday, I will officially become president, and it's due to the support of this council and our wonderful staff of the town. And thank you so much for supporting me on that. And I will do well for us, make sure that our unique needs are heard, along with many of the mining district communities. Deming, Lordsburg, many of our Southwest communities haven't had a voice. I mean, they have through me, but now I think hopefully we'll be able to carry the day. Columbus, all of them. And we also have more people from the southern part of the state that are now going to be on the board, including the Sunland Park mayor, who is going to be he's the incoming vice president. He'll take over on October 1st, Javier Perea. So I'm really pleased that we have a lot, for the first time in a long time, we have a lot of folks that are representing different districts and different communities below I-40. So our voices will be heard. So thank you again to all of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilor Khanna?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everyone that next week is the second annual Outdoor Economics Conference. It will be held here in Silver City. Events begin on Wednesday evening and will go through Thursday and Friday. Our U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich will be in town, as will the governor, the lieutenant governor, and several other legislators from around the state. So if you see him in town, this is your chance to tell him how you feel. Especially about outdoor economics issues. That's what they're here for. So let them know how you think about that. The other thing I wanted to announce was for the foreseeable future, at least the next month, probably even longer, I will not be available for most events. If people invite us to things, I will not be able to attend those. I will be in and out of town quite a bit. My travel schedule is going to be a little bit crazy, but I'll still be available by phone, email, text, and to deal with anything that arises. However, I won't be able to do very many social events. So if you don't see me in town, I'm not avoiding you. I just am not available at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comments? I have one item. Would like to ask Ms. Lee Gruber to come up to the podium. This is a letter from the mayor and the town council. Dear Ms. Lee Gruber, it is a pleasure and a privilege to congratulate you as the recipient of the 2019 New Mexico Governor's Award for Excellence in the Arts. This award represents well-deserved recognition of the joy and cultural enrichment you've brought to Silver City, to New Mexico, to southwestern United States, and to many other parts of the world through your inspired production of beautiful handmade clay designs and glazes. 25 years ago, you and your husband, David Del Junco, founded the creative enterprise Syzygy Tile, which has become a mainstay of Silver City's historic district and an economic development driver for the region through ongoing support of other small businesses and galleries. Through your vision and under your leadership, Syzygy Tile has grown into an international known business selling a product which is made by hand in the heart of our community, employing our local workers and teaching the gift of creating with clay to our young people and encouraging others to do the same. Another one of your creations, our local clay festival, is an outgrowth of the energy generated by your work at Syzygy Tile. It represents an expansive view of the clay arts, adobe and natural building, also incorporating our agricultural communities, our geological formations, our archaeological and anthropological histories and more. Working with clay can be viewed as the connective tissue between our cultures, our history, our archaeology, our geology, our land and its mud and dirt. Lee Gruber, it is a privilege to shine a light and honor you as an enormously creative and generous artist who has shared her many talents with the people of Silver City and our region. With appreciation, Ken Ladner, Mayor, Councilor Cynthia Ann Beniston, Mayor Pro Tem, Jose Ray Jr., Councilor Guadalupe Cano, and Councilor Linda Amon Smith. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words? Of course you do.
No, that happened on Friday. It's over. Yes, yeah, Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, and all of the people sitting to my right who are so wonderful and supportive in what I've done or tried to do. I was a nervous wreck Friday evening, but Faye McCallum told me to just memorize the first line and then go for it. And I did, and was told that I spoke really well, although I have no idea what I said. And I do know that I talked about Silver City a lot. And I'm not retired. I don't think I ever can be. But I'm truly honored to be a citizen of this community. I really love Silver City, and I hope that I can continue to shine a light for this town. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the September 10, 2019 regular meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of the town of Silver City of September 10th, 2019.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second it as read.
Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is public input, and I see that nobody signed up, so the next item is reports. Any reports, Mr. Brown?
Mayor and Council, yes, I do. I have a couple small ones. First, I wanted to congratulate Chief Lambert on the award that he got. Can you come up and explain it a little bit?
Thank you for putting me on the spot. Mayor, Council, last Sunday evening, I received the state's Meritorious Service Award, the Carl J. Standifer Meritorious Service Award for the fire service in Socorro. It's probably the third largest award offered to any fire department member anywhere in the state of New Mexico. So, thank you for recognizing that, Alex.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then second, I just wanted to let the council know that that the golf course management will change from Western New Mexico University to OB Sports. They're a large golf course management organization that primarily serves golf courses in the western United States, from the northern United States down to, we're the second one in New Mexico. So most of their golf courses are in Arizona, Nevada, California, Washington, Idaho, and those Montana, those states up there. So they've got about 70 courses, so they've got a lot of background in golf course management. And they will take over on the 30th of September. I'm really excited about that. I really want to thank the university for what they've done to help us move forward after Silver Fairways went under. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the university for all their help, and I'm looking forward to moving forward with it.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilor Benson?
Thank you, Mayor. So, and they're going to take over the clubhouse?
Yes,
Okay.
they'll take over the clubhouse and the bar, the pro shop, and then management of the facilities, the outdoor facilities as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Anything else, Mr. Brown?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next item is number 10, unfinished business, which is the approval/disapproval of ordinance number 1285, an ordinance amending Appendix C, Land Use and Zoning Code of 2010, Article 3, District Regulations, by adding a new section 3.3.1K entitled Small Cell Wireless Communication Facilities and incorporated herein by reference as Appendix 1, providing definitions, providing for permits, and providing for servability. Councilor Amon Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to reiterate a little bit of background about why this ordinance is coming in front of the council. It was introduced properly a month ago, and I want to say to my council members here that federal and state laws, as well as the September 2018 declaratory statement from the Federal Communications Commission, has moved to preempt local authority to regulate certain aspects of wireless telecommunication facilities. We cannot regulate radio frequency or electromagnetic waves that comply with FCC regulations. We cannot regulate co-location on existing wireless telecom facilities. We cannot regulate certain modifications to existing wireless telecom facilities. And we cannot regulate the installation of wireless telecom facilities on existing utility poles in the public right-of-way. In fact, there's precious little that these state laws, federal laws, and FCC rulings leave to local municipalities. But we are going to seize what avenues are available to us for us to influence how and where this equipment is going to be installed. So the guidelines are here that if local governments have a clear and reasonable ordinance, which is what this NOI 1285 reflects, a clear and reasonable ordinance, and have clear and reasonable design guidelines in place before companies apply to build facilities, then those companies have to follow them. So the purpose of this NOI is actually to assert our local authority regarding, where we can, the placement, construction, and design review of various wireless telecommunications facilities, completely within the context of federal law, state law, and the currently upheld in the courts FCC declaratory ruling and order of September 27th, 2018. So we are presenting this NOI as a way to maintain what authority we can have over infrastructure of telecommunication facilities here in the town. I did receive comments from the public and a variety of different people. A number of those comments urged the council to not install 5G. I want to make it very clear that it is not the town that will be installing any telecommunications or wireless infrastructure, nor is the town bringing in any particular telecommunications technology. In fact, we are forbidden by federal law to do so. So we can neither decline nor can we bring in any particular technologies. What we are doing is offering a NOI that gives us this clear and reasonable ordinance and the various design boards that develop design criteria for things like our historical downtown and our arts and cultural designated district are the ones who really have to put in place particular design criteria. Is it time for me to make a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do want to say that I'm going to offer a number of amendments to the original NOI 1285 based on comments received since it was introduced on August 20th, 2019. None of these are considered substantive changes. They are all clarifications of language, and should the council vote to approve this NOI 1285, the changes I'm just about to read will be incorporated into the final ordinance. And the proposed amendments, so I'm going to say that I'm going to move to approve ordinance number 1285, an ordinance amending Appendix C, Land Use and Zoning Code of 2010, Article 3, District Regulations, by adding a new section 3.31K entitled Small Cell Wireless Communication Facilities, and incorporated herein by reference as Appendix 1, providing definitions, providing for permits, and providing for severability with the following amended language. Under Section 2 definitions, Section L, the final sentence should read that B, designated as a historic district in accordance with the Historic District and Landmark Act, or C, listed by the New Mexico Historic Preservation Division in the Registrars of Cultural Properties. As a note, not for the record, but just for information, that was proposed when the NOI was first read by my fellow counselor, and we agreed at that time to put that in. Under Section 2 definitions T, item 4, the language should be, has antennas that each are or could fit inside an enclosure no more than 3 cubic feet in volume. The next amendment is Section 7B, first sentence under B, permit duration. Work described in a permit granted pursuant to this section shall begin within 180 days of the permit issuance date. The next amendment is under Section 11D, and that's under L, which the first sentence will be changed to read, small wireless facilities, DAS, micro wireless facilities, and other similar networks on poles and public rights of way. And the remainder of that section remains the same. Under Section 18, indemnification, let's see, I guess it's third from the bottom of the paragraph. The language is going to change to be, I'll read the whole thing, it's too confusing otherwise. Each permit issued for small wireless facilities located in town right-of-way or on other town property shall be deemed to have, as a condition of the permit, a requirement that the wireless provider defend, indemnify, and hold harmless the town and its officers, agents, employees, volunteers, and contractors from any and all liability, damages, or charges, including attorney's fees and expenses, arising out of claims, suits, demand, actions, or causes of the action, and here's the new language, that are caused by or result from the wireless providers or its agents or contractors' construction, performance, operation, maintenance, repair, replacement, removal, or restoration of the small wireless facilities. And those are the amendments that I am proposing to ordinance number 1285.
Okay, we have a motion with amendments. Do we have a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second it as read with amendments on it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Councilor Edison?
Yes, Councilor Inman-Smith, can you explain what could happen if this does not pass, where the town doesn't have a clear or reasonable ordinance or clear and reasonable design guidelines? What could ultimately happen if this was not passed?
It's already happened in a few communities in the East, and that is if there is no ordinance in place or design criteria in place, a wireless facility installer can come in and just begin putting things up sort of wherever they darn well please. And we don't want people coming in and putting things up in the middle of our sidewalks or in places that could block safe line of sight on the streets. We don't want them coming in and just putting things on the face of our buildings. So this would protect us or gives us some authority in terms of where they are placed.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions or comments or discussion? Roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Madison? Aye. Councilor Amon-Smith? Aye. Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Kano?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, council. This protects our town in whatever way that we can. I want to acknowledge Mr. Jim Reynolds, who worked so diligently with me on this, spending quite a bit of time on a 24-page document. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Next item is under new business. Under new business 11A is the approval/disapproval of resolution number 2019-35 for the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the town and the New Mexico Finance Authority for the purchase of various improvements to Scott Park. Mr. Brown?
As you remember, we were awarded $250,000 towards the construction of the concession stand and bathrooms out at Scott Park. That's not enough to build the facilities. Last time, I believe we had $400,000 available for construction. The bid came in around $580,000. So what we're looking to do with this loan is to get an additional $300,000 that will go towards the construction of the concession stand and bathrooms. So we're looking about $550,000 to go with the cost of inflation since the last couple of years. And the remaining balance of that money is going to go towards the repair of the one baseball field where in the outfield that has settled. We were able to reauthorize some funds that we received about 3 years ago for the concession stand. We used that towards fixing the infield portion of that field. Now we're going to work on the outfield to make the entire field usable. The total amount of this loan is around $616,000. It's secured with our fifth increment of municipal gross receipts taxes, and for a period of 10 years.
Any questions for Mr. Brown? Any comments? Any questions or comments from the general public? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Bedison?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 2019-35, authorizing the execution and delivery of a taxable loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the town of Silver City, New Mexico, the governmental unit, and the New Mexico Finance Authority, the Finance Authority, evidencing a special limited obligation of the governmental unit to pay a principal amount of $616,247, together with interest thereon for the purpose of funding the cost of various improvements to Scott Park within the governmental unit, paying a loan processing fee, and funding the taxable loan agreement reserve account, and providing for the pledge and payment of the principal and interest due under the taxable loan agreement solely from the 1/8% municipal local gross receipts tax imposed pursuant to Section 7-19D-9 NMSA 1978 and distributed to the governmental unit by the State Taxation and Revenue Department, providing for the distribution of 1/8% municipal local gross receipts tax to be redirected by the State Taxation and Revenue Department to the Finance Authority or its assigns for the payment of the principal and interest due on the taxable loan agreement pursuant to an intercept agreement, ratifying actions therefore heretofore taken, repealing all action inconsistent with this resolution, and authorizing the taking of other actions in connection with the execution and delivery of the taxable loan agreement and intercept agreement.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second that long speech.
Thank you. Any comments or discussion, the council? Roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Medicine?
Aye.
Councilor Anderson? Aye. Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Connor?
Motion carries unanimously. Next item is item 11B, the approval/disapproval of resolution number 2019-36 for the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the town and the New Mexico Finance Authority for the purchase of firefighting equipment. Mr. Brown?
Mayor and Council, this is another loan agreement in the amount of $544,000 to be used for a fire truck as well as a brush truck. And so this loan will be secured with fire protection, will be secured and paid with fire protection funds, so it will not come out of the general fund or any others. It will come out of the funds they receive from the State Fire Marshal's Office. And with that, do you have any questions?
Questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the general public? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Kano.
I move to approve resolution number 2019-36, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the town of Silver City, New Mexico governmental unit and the New Mexico Finance Authority, the Finance Authority, evidencing a special limited obligation of the governmental unit to pay a principal amount of $544,157 together with interest thereon, for the purpose of purchasing a new firefighting apparatus for the governmental unit, paying a loan processing fee, providing for the pledge and payment of the principal and interest due under the loan agreement solely from the distribution of state fire protection fund revenues distributed by the state treasurer to the governmental unit pursuant to section 59A-53-7 NMSA 1978, providing for the distribution of state fire protection fund revenues to be redirected by the state treasurer to the finance authority or it assigns for the payment of principal and interest due on a loan agreement pursuant to an intercept agreement, approving the form and terms of and other details concerning the loan agreement and intercept agreement, setting the maximum interest rate of the loan, ratifying actions heretofore taken, repealing all action inconsistent with this resolution, and authorizing the taking of other actions in connection with the execution and delivery of the loan agreement and intercept agreement.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, I'll second that. Second long speech too.
Any comments or discussion from the council? Roll call, please, Ms. Mackey.
Councilor Connor.
Aye.
Councilor Ray.
Aye.
Councilor Amos Smith. Aye. Councilor Bettis.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item is 11C, the approval/disapproval of resolution number 2019-37 for the membership in an amended joint powers agreement pertaining to the Southwest Solid Waste Authority. Mr. Brown?
Mayor and Council, this amendment is again because of a loan that the Southwest Solid Waste Authority is acquiring. It will be the refinancing of a lease purchase agreement between the Southwest Solid Waste Authority and Caterpillar Financial. This agreement will allow us to refinance that agreement, pay it off, and for a lower interest rate and lower time period. The Finance Authority chose to handle the amendment of the joint powers agreement in this manner because in previous years, the authority has acquired loans from the Finance Authority, but in those previous years, they used increments of the county, the environmental gross receipts taxes from the county as the pledged revenue for this loan. This time, we are using net system revenues from just revenues generated by the loan, by the authority, by its customers, which are us, Hurley, Baird, Santa Clara, and the county. The reason they handle it in this way is they wanted to make it very clear that if necessary to pay off the loan, the authority will have to raise rates at the authority. It won't just rely on the gross receipts taxes that are pledged from the county. We're finally self-sufficient. This is actually a good thing, because we're finally self-sufficient out at the landfill, so that we can pay our own debt and don't have to have basically a cosigner like we did in the past.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, Mr. Brown? Councilor Bedison?
So, the question is each one of the members has to do this resolution, or is it just going to be under our...
It's an amended joint powers agreement for every member has to...
So every member will be...
Yes, actually, I believe Bear passed theirs yesterday.
Okay,
So it will go before every member of the authority.
And all the members agree?
So far, yes.
Okay.
There
Thank
hasn't
you.
been any questions on it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. My goodness, I lost it. I move to approve a resolution 2019-37 for the membership in an amended joint powers agreement pertaining to the Southwest Solid Waste Authority. Resolution number 2019-37, a resolution approving the form of amended and restated joint powers agreement by and between Grant County, the town of Silver City, the town of Ferguson, the village of Santa Clara, the city of Bear, collectively the members relating to the Southwest Solid Waste Authority, Southwest authorizing the town of Silver City to join a loan agreement by and between Southwest Authority with respect to specific covenants, ratifying actions heretofore taken, repealing all action inconsistent with this resolution, and authorizing the taking of other actions in connection with the execution and delivery of the amended and restated joint powers agreement and the loan agreement.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Councilor Khanna?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that motion as stated.
A motion and second. Are there any comments or discussion from the council? Roll call, please, Ms. Mackey.
Councilor Kano? Aye. Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Amonston? Aye. Councilor Madison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next, item 11D is the approval/disapproval of bid number 19/20-2, Swan Street and 12th Street Road Diet and Bicycle Lane Improvements for NMDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program. Mr. Brown?
This is a project that was awarded to the town under the DOT's Highway Safety Improvement Program. The town was awarded $239,623 to basically chip seal, fog seal, and restripe Swan Street from Highway 180 to 12th Street, 12th Street from Swan Street to Hudson Street, and then 12th Street from Pope Street to Alabama. The town received one bid for $408,832.60 for the project, which far exceeds the available funds for the project. So it's staff's recommendation to reject the bid from Southwest Concrete and Paving. We have made an agreement with the DOT to rebid the project, but because of the bid that we did receive, we're going to phase the project back, and so we will be bidding Swan Street from 180 to 12th, 12th from Swan to Hudson, and then in 2 years we are going to add 12th Street from Pope to Alabama in our chip seal project. This project is basically following the entire process that we do every year with our chip seal project. And to give you an idea, all the work that we did this year costed us $180,000. This project area is smaller than what we actually did this year. but because of the requirements for a federal project, it increases the cost automatically. And then with all the construction projects going on right now, this is just a tiny little project that they didn't want to I wouldn't imagine they wanted to remobilize all their equipment down here for a project that technically should have taken them a week, if we were lucky. I mean, that would have been a long time for this project. So, part of the requirements from the DOT is that the entire project area is complete within 10 years. So we're going to add that third phase into our chip seal project in 2 years. And so it will be ultimately, and also, we have to have temperatures of 70 degrees or higher throughout the project construction period. So we're probably going to end up having to wait till the springtime before we actually start this project. So we're going to wait a little while.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we're going to have to wait a little while before we put it back out to bid.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Mr. Brown? Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Wasn't this the highest priority project on the bicycle master plan?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And that's why we will make sure that it happens. It's just, now it's basically weather that we have to deal with. So we will be doing it in the spring.
I appreciate you and your staff working ahead on these parts of the master bicycle plan. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Conrad?
Yeah. See, I have to do this in the affirmative, so it's not going to sound kind of strange, but I move to approve of staff recommendations to rebid and to reject and rebid the bid of number 19/20-2, Swan Street and 12th Street Road Diet and Bicycle Lane improvements for New Mexico DOT Highway Safety Improvement Program.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Benson?
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion as read.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or comments? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next item, 11E, is the approval/disapproval of bid number 19-20-3, Visitor Center, pedestrian and trailhead improvements for NMDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program. Mr. Brown?
Mayor and Council, again, this is a safety improvement project for the DOT. A little bit of history. Originally, this project was supposed to be sidewalk improvements, lighting improvements, signage improvements, as well as the repaving of the parking lot and realigning the parking lot at the visitor center. After the project and the funds were approved, the DOT came back and told us that we could not repave the parking lot. So we had to amend the project to only include sidewalk, lighting, and signage improvements along that, is it the north end of the parking? Well, along the sidewalk and lighting where we currently have it, behind the visitor center. So that's the scope of it now. It's fairly small. I wish we could have moved some of the funds from this project to the previous project so we could have got it done. But we actually tried that, but they didn't allow us to do it. So we did not receive any bids for this project, so we did get permission to rebid it. And we will be rebidding it as soon as it's feasible to go on.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Brown? Do I hear a motion? Councilor Benson?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve of staff recommendation to rebid bid number 19-20-3 Visitor Center Pedestrian and Trailhead Improvements for NMDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program. I don't know if I did that right.
Yeah, you didn't have to,
I didn't have
you had
to
to
bid.
reject the bid because there was a bid. No,
But there were no bids.
There were no bids.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to say, like, there were no bids.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second? Councilor Kano?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that motion as stated.
A motion and a second, or any other comments or discussion from the council? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 11F is the appointment to the Municipal Library Community Advisory Group. The town received an application from Judy Brown Lawson to continue her service on the Library Advisory Group. The library director and the chair have recommended her reappointment. If there are no objections from the council, I would like to reappoint her. Hearing no objections, she is hereby reappointed. This concludes the business of the town of Silver City. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Amos Smith.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We're hereby adjourned.